He weighed 750 pounds. He was embarrassed. He was tired. He was afraid. And he didn't know what to do. How could he have gotten to this place where he could barely get off the bed and walk to the washroom to use the toilet? He was so afraid, and he didn't know what to do. And he was watching YouTube and consuming YouTube as he had become basically trapped in his home, trapped really in his room. It just didn't go anywhere. And in a sense, didn't do anything except consume food and consume content. And he was crying out. He cried out to God, then prayed to God for help because he was lost. And it's interesting. This man who weighed 750 pounds ended up coming across a video of another man who had lost 100 pounds. And even though that man had lost a lot less weight, it inspired him because the man who had lost the less weight did so with a system that was so simple, and he couldn't. It was almost hard to believe that really worked, because at 750 pounds, it was like, what is he going to do? What is he going to do to lose this weight? And most of the systems that get people to lose weight involve a lot of movement, which at that weight, there's just no way. And it involves, complicated meal plans and shakes and vitamins and a lot of money, which he did not have to overcome the obesity, to overcome being so overweight. But the man with less weight to lose presented a system that offered this glimmer of hope, that a man in his position, 750 pounds and depressed, and just life is not working out, and he's fallen behind in life like crazy. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have children, he barely has a home. Maybe he could do that. And that actually ended up causing him to be afraid again, even still. Because how? And what he did is he wrote to the man that he found on YouTube. He wrote to that man in a comment on a video. And with all the fear and all the anxiety that was hitting him, he wrote out to him. And the gentleman who wrote back, his name is Kerry. That gentleman, Kerry, wrote back to the man who weighed so much. And he's like, don't give up. Don't quit. You can do this. And he was so passionate to reach out, and actually desperate to reach out to that man as he confessed his fears, as he confessed the situation that he was in. And he was in a bad situation. He got onto YouTube and made a video specifically for him. And my mind is blanking on the gentleman's name, but he was 750 pounds. And Kerry reached out to him and made a video for him. And he's like, don't quit. Don't give up. I hear you. I'm going to help you. I'll do everything to help you. That man, because he did that simple thing of that scary, in his situation and the way he felt from his perspective, it was a big thing. It was a simple thing to write that comment and to cry out to him. I'll argue his first real good action was reaching out to God. But the second thing was reaching out to Kerry. Those of us who feel like we have fallen behind in life, I think it's really embarrassing to look around and note that. that we've fallen behind, that we're not where we're supposed to be, that everybody else is somewhere else, but we are stuck right here. What do you do? And I think that gentleman who weighed 750 pounds presents a really good action, something that we can do. And that is, don't try to fix everything, and don't look at the situation like you're hopeless, because the reality is that man who weighed 750 pounds, he was not too far gone. It was not too late for him. It's not too late for us. It's not too late for us to rise up, to become better, to grow, and to do more, and to achieve dreams. Buddy, who weighed so much, one of his dreams was just simply to be able to ride on his quad and be able to enjoy the land that he was in, because he was in Alaska, a beautiful place, but he was trapped in his home, and he never really got to look at Alaska anymore. And so one of his dreams was to be able to ride on his quad, his four-wheeler, his ATV. There's so many different names for those things, and be able to just see it. But he was too big to be even able to leave his room, to leave his house, and to get onto the quad and ride around. He did eventually do that. It was really, really cool. It was really cool to watch it. He actually did get on to that quad, and he did ride around. He still had a ways to go in his journey. He was still overweight, absolutely, but he got his weight down so much that he was able to leave his room, leave his house, and able to go on a trip and drive ride around on the quad. It was like, wow. I think one of the things that is essential is that we have to start looking at things that give us hope. That gentleman in Alaska, he had to, he started consuming all kinds of content that was all about getting better and achieving the dreams that he had, which the biggest one, the main one, was to lose the weight and to get down to a healthy weight. That was his main goal. But he had all kinds of little goals in the middle of there. Like on the way, like his one of his first goals was to just only eat what's going to help him get healthy. Didn't even talk about like the amount of food he was going to eat, just like what he was going to eat. And that gave him so much control, and he felt a sense of control. I think for you and I, when we are looking to become better, first and foremost, we have got to realize we're not too far gone. We're not lost. You know, like I don't know, like I'm thinking of Jesus and the sheep, right? And Jesus goes out and he finds the lost sheep. And I think to myself, like when I say the lost, like the end of the world lost, we're not that. We don't know where we are, and we don't know how to get back. But first and foremost, reach out to Jesus and let him know where you're at. Not that he's confused or lost, but it brings that connection. And then God, I think, will bring us to small steps that we can do. And I think the very first thing we've got to do is no longer consume YouTube content that reinforces those negative feelings. Like one of the things I've stopped doing is watching failure YouTube. I think that's the best way to put it, because there's so much hilarious content of people failing on YouTube, right? And it's like, stop. We have got to stop doing that, because we're constantly feeding our mind with images of people not being enough, of not being able to make it, of not being able to do it. And instead, I think we got to start feeding our minds of success YouTube, of positive YouTube. Like I don't watch anymore content of the police failing an interaction with the public. Instead, I watch the content of the police being successful in their interaction with the public, a positive police story. I've been focusing on no gossip content either. No failure content and no gossip content. And it's hard because I'm really fascinated by okay, you can say it this way. I'm very fascinated by what's happening in Hollywood, what's happening in the video game industry, and what's happening in politics. So maybe I should rephrase this. I'm not going to say none, but reduce it significantly and counterweight it with the positive content. Like really counterweight that with positive content. I think that, no matter where we are in life, no matter where we are in our situation, you know, whatever that is, we can at the very least curate our our consumption in a way that lets us see that we could do it too. Like the teenager that comes from poverty. What's the one thing that we often will tell that child, that teenager, about coming from poverty? You don't have to you don't have to stay in poverty. Lots of people have overcome poverty to become very wealthy, to become very successful, to become very accomplished. And we'll tell them story after story after story, including the story that I talked about right now, where the man who was 750 pounds lost that weight to the point where he was able to ride his quad and achieve his dream, one of his dreams. And we tell the stories like that to those kids that come from poverty, that come from bad situations. We need those stories too. Today is Tuesday. When I'm recording this video, it's Tuesday. Who knows when you're going to be watching this? But tomorrow, when you get up in the morning, instead of turning on, say, the news or watching whatever gossip is happening on the internet, or listening to just random music on YouTube or on the radio or however you consume, curate your music list, curate the videos and the internet that you consume so that it's positive, edifying, uplifting to you. Stories of people succeeding, stories of people making it. I think the very first thing that we have got to do is bust this lie that we're too old, too far gone, too unhealthy, too whatever, and instead build the truth that you can do it, you do have what it takes, that you have something to offer this world, that you have so much more to accomplish in this world to your benefit and to the benefit of the world around you. Don't let the bad news bear, come and tell you that it's over. This is why I actually do not consume any Christian prophecy content. And I'm talking like the Nephilim this, the giants that, Israel this, America that, any prophecy, nope. I will not consume it because my mind will get all filled up with all this negativity, and it'll drown out hope, it'll drown out joy, it'll drown out fulfillment and contentment, and drown out possibility. Because that stuff gets told in a way of like, it's over, it's the end, give up. Right now, where I live, I'm second guessing myself in telling this part because my channel is not about politics. But right now, where I live, there's a lot of voices saying, give up, quit. And there's anger and there's hatred and there's resentment and all that just swirling around. And it's like, That's not coming into this space right here between you and I. This space, I'm going to look at the stories, the YouTube, the music, the TV shows. I'm going to read the books. I'm going to pray to Jesus. I'm going to do the prayers that bring positivity, that bring hope, that bring creativity, that bring opportunity into our lives. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't let this that stuff shut it down. I'm not talking about what's right or wrong between, I'm not talking about the right or wrong in politics or religion or anything. Not that. Just that we've got to protect this space in here so that we don't give up, so that we don't quit, so that we don't think it's too late, because it is not too late. Today is the day of success. I'm thinking of the Bible where it says today is the day of salvation. Today is the day of success. Today is the day for you. You can make this. You can make it. Go out there. Start with the smallest thing and guide it and change it so that this day is the beginning of your positive, successful future.